Alright, hello everybody. I'm Tamman and I top forward the regionals on. That's my phone going off for no specific reason. I top forward Toronto regionals on Saturday. And since that day till now, I saw a lot of people actually asking a lot of questions about my deck, so I decided to do a deck profile about it. So, might as well just go through the deck first and talk about it after I've gone through it. So, first up is monsters. So, obviously, 3 Priestess. This card is the major boss monster of the deck. It's like a dad that you can keep using every single turn, which is pretty awesome. Next up, 3 Spellbook Conditions. Spellbook Conditions is the road of the deck. It gets you everything. It starts off combos. It can even finish off games for you. It's a pretty good card. I also run 2 Veilers for insurance. You know, it stops most of the meta. It stops Fire Fist. It stops Mermails to a point, especially the mono Mermails that have come up ever since Billy Bray came out with the Gaios and the Big Eyes. The Veilers are now even bigger these days against Mermails than they used to be with the Gen X version. 2 Breakers. Breakers are obvious. They're in there for obvious threats that I can't get rid of normally, like Macrocosmos, Skill Drain, but Skill Drain bothers this deck pretty much at a scale of 0 because of Wisdom. Just call Traps, and it's pretty much nothing. 2 Tragodia. Tragodia gets really big in this deck. People are really afraid of Tragodia because of the hand sizes that I can get because of Tower and Recycling. And I have a random spell here that shouldn't be here. 1 Temperance of Prophecy. Dude, keep it down a bit, man. 1 Temperance of Prophecy. Sorry, that's some random dude in the background just yelling. 1 Temperance of Prophecy for the obvious reasons. Because before Divine Judgment, it's going to be very hard to justify having 3 Justices, because 1 Temperance is good sometimes to have the option to be able to get an instant Priestess sometimes. Sometimes that's what you need, like an instant Priestess. 2 Justices. Gets you a hand size, fills up your hand, gets you a spellbook that you might be missing, and gets you that essential Priestess. And last but not least, Stoic of Prophecy. I've gotten a lot of comments about Stoic of Prophecy. Now, I run Stoic of Prophecy in here mainly as a way to utilize Tower even more, so that if they destroy my Tower, I can at least use it to search out Stoic. And also, Stoic works with one of the spell cards I play, Wonder Wand, so you can +3. You know, you draw 2 and you search with Stoic as well. So it's rather good when you do that. Of course, when Judgment Day pretty much comes out, I'm pretty much taking it out for that. So that's the monsters. Next up, the spells. So I play 1 Spellbook Star Hall. This card was major boss. All of regionals. This clears up my monsters, it makes them bigger, and at the same time it helps me search out for things I might need. So like I might bring out Priestess and blow it up myself. No, am I? You have to say that loudly. So, and editing! That's awesome. Anyway, so Star Hall, as I was saying before, is actually a pretty good card because I can blow it up with my own Priestess and blow it up with my own Heavy Storm, stuff like that, and be able to get Affect Veiler into my hand when I need it, or any other card when I need it. So it's usually something that makes the opponent think twice about whether they want to blow it up or not, because it helps you plus, and it could get quite big in this deck. Plus, it helps feed out my plays. Like Arcanite is extra good when you have this on the field, because Arcanite can get counters from this as well. And at the same time, Tempest Magician can burn with this as well. Next up, I play 2 Wonder Wand. Before Judgment Day, this is a good card for plussing. You draw more with it, you get rid of useless cards in your hand, or you can combo it with the obvious with Spellbook Condition. You know, you get Spellbook Condition's effect, you do all the plussing you can, and then you tribute it with Wonder Wand, draw 2 more. Obvious combo, or use it with Stoic. Spellbook of Eternity, obvious reasons. I use Priestess here, and I use 1 Fate, so I mean, Eternity is good to get back any of those removed spellbook cards and use them again, and obviously recycle stuff. Like I would often remove a Fate with my Priestess and then use Eternity to get it back, and then recycle, and just it's an obvious combo. Two lives. This is my Monster Reborn. People keep confusing it with Premature Burial, though. This isn't Premature Burial. If you MST it after it's on the field, the monster still stays. You'd have to chain MST to it. I've had to explain that so many times at regionals. 2 power. This card in this deck is broken. I've been thinking so many times about bringing it up to 3. Mainly because like I combo it so well with Master and make my monsters gain 2,000 attack, and I get to search my deck. Obvious. 2 towers, my recycling power and my searching power and special summoning a monster. It's all good. 3 secrets. This thing gets so many combos started. You know, I use it sometimes for searching out my magician if I need a monster, or search out for magician, get magician, search out master, master, copy it, get fate. It's a very good first turn play because people don't see what you'd use fate for usually afterwards, because you'd use fate for removing your 2 spellbooks that you just used and flipping your magician face down and essentially plussing some more. So it makes them hesitate about whether they want to attack you or not. That's a pretty good first turn play. 2 masters. This card was broken all weekend. I mean, I copied master, I copied powers, I copied secrets. You copy a power and you get a double power, and it's just so good. Triple wisdom. Wisdom's good. Wisdom is just so incredibly broken. Skill drain, that's fine. You lose 1,000 life points. I blow it up anyways, and I'm unaffected by it. Wisdom is just very good. Bottomless, Mirror Forces, all the stuff that they play these days. Wisdom, I have tried going down to 2 once. It didn't work. I went back to 3. It's just too good these days. 1 spellbook of Fate. I've been really considering bringing it up to 2, but if I bring this up to 2, I need to bring up Eternity to 2, and I have no room to do that until Judgment Day comes out. And in my Judgment Day version, I do actually play 2 and 2, so... But for now, 1 Fate's actually working pretty well with 1 Eternity, because I can recycle it very easily with Eternity and Tower. Staples, Monster Reborn, obviously. Dark Hole, obviously. Monster and Heavy Storm, obviously. That's the spells. Next up, the traps. You can see I play a lot of traps. 2 T-Rows. Yes, I play a lot of traps. 2 T-Rows is all I really needed. This card was big all weekend. You know, anybody tries to OTK you, T-Roar. I'd have this card set for many turns until I'd use it sometimes. I mean, you just have to use this card at the most crucial time. It's just so good. Especially in this OTK meta. Now, extra deck. I play 1 Catastor. 1 TT Hyper Librarian, which actually was the MVP in one of my matches against X-Savers. It made him not want to do any synchro summon whatsoever. And it's a spellcaster, so I can use all my stuff with him, so he's pretty good. 1 Veiler that shouldn't be here. 1 Stardust Dragon. 1 Tempest Magician. This card was big sometimes. You know, I could bring him out and bam, just with Star Hall on the field, I would burn you for so much. Scrap Dragon, never made him once. Arcanite Magician made him, and he's pretty big when you do make him. Acid Golem. Now, I was going back and forth about Acid Golem, but I actually managed to make him in one of my matches in round 8, I believe, and he actually won me the match in round 8. So, any thoughts I had about taking him out? I'm having double thoughts about doing that, so I like Acid Golem now. Gotchi Gotchi. It's a good stall, good power-up. Gustav Max. I mainly put this card in to troll people. I never actually put it in there because thinking I'm going to make it. I only made it once, and that was last regionals at Toronto when I made him with my Tragodia and the opponent's Tragodia, which pretty much won me the match and made everybody laugh at the same time. Heroism, I can't say this guy's name, but the big guy. Which comes to Big Eye. Big Eye, obvious. Priestess, make Big Eye, steal their monsters. I stole Shockmaster with a Big Eye and made the guy cry. Levier, never made him once. Zen Mains, looks pretty, never made him once. A Dust Dweller, also looks pretty, I never made him once. And Digusto Phoenix, I almost made him once. And then I decided not to. Which got me someone laughing beside me. Okay. Last but not least, the side deck. So, one effect Veiler, I sided this guy in pretty much every single match. I would take out a Stoic and I'd put in a third Veiler, because 3 Veilers just works so incredibly well. It was very good. Two-dimensional fissures, I sided this in, never drew it whatsoever. 2 lava golems. Now, I saw a lot of people questioning me on the lava golems, and to be completely honest, the reason I put lava golems in there was they were supposed to be mine crushes. But before the regionals, I found that my mine crushes were stolen. So last minute, I decided to put lava golems in instead of it, which was actually a pretty good choice because lava golems is actually a pretty good counter to some of the things that stop my deck. So Natural Beast, Chien, Lagia, Dolka, tribute them. There you go. You're out of your way. Never had to use them though. 2 Royal Decree. I sided this in one of my matches and never saw it. 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. I never faced 1 Dark World, so I wasn't able to side this in. 2 Maxis. I sided this in at one point. I never saw it also. 2 Rivalry of Warlords. I did side this in at one point. I never saw it. 2 Kaikos. I also sided these in. I never saw them. The only side deck card I ever saw was Veiler. And that's apparently all I needed. So just to explain the obvious combos with this deck, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So that's my phone going off again randomly. So you have Spellbook Magician, you'd summon Spellbook Magician, you'd use his effect, you'd search out, obviously, you'd search out a secrets, use that secrets, search out the secrets, copy the secrets with Master, revealing whatever other spellbook you can run or reveal, and you'd like to try to ideally end off with a Fate. It's a pretty good first turn play to end off with Fate. Or if this is the second turn and you feel like you can make the push, instead of going with a Fate, you can go Magician. And with Magician you can search a Master, which is already out there. And let's say you have Power in your hand, you'd use Power, use Master, copy Power, you've got a 2500 Spellbook Condition, which you can get over most of anything. So anybody who talks about TK and all that kind of stuff, oh, TK stops you. Yeah, TK does not stop you. You can get over it pretty easily with any of your monsters. So I just decided to just make that deck profile and to try to explain some of my choices, and I hope you understood the choices a bit better. And if you have any questions, ask me in the comments below, and I'll feel free to answer any of your comments. And yeah, I hope this deck profile wasn't that incredibly bad, even though it probably sounded like it was. And I hope you guys have a good day.